I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion.
Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Hope everybody's feeling good. It is October. It is time to bust out all the pumpkin spice everything and to just relax. Hopefully it is getting cooler where you are. It's getting cooler here in Florida. The weather is so nice. It's that time of the year. Crock pots. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation that happened back in June of 2023 is when I covered this case over here on my channel. And there's been so many updates that has come out. And you guys, by the end of this video, you're probably going to be flipping. You're going to be like, how did this even happen? You're about to find out. Before we get into it, though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up. And over there, we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. And there is a $2 tier over there where there is more content like is over here, but more of that over there. Just make sure you read the full about section at each tier, what they offer before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is the platform where you can find links to a lot of the things that I use and that y'all ask about and that I love. Everything from skincare, hair care, clothing items, makeup, workout gear, furniture, all kinds of stuff that I want to post over there. I do. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. Okay, so like I said earlier, over 2 years ago in June of 2023, I covered the case of Alexee Trevizo. And there have been a ton of updates that has come out about her case that I find, let's say, interesting to say the least. Before we get into the new updates, though, I did want to talk to y'all real quick about doctor-patient confidentiality. And you're gonna want to pay attention to this because, oh my gosh, is it gonna be one of the biggest twists and turns in this case. Before we get into that, though, I need to let y'all know I'm not a professional. I pull all of my information from very public sources, news sources, court videos that is already out there, filter it through my own words and opinions, and also give y'all my unprofessional opinion. Please go do your own research, form your own opinions. Just do not show hate to anybody anywhere. So, okay, according to Wikipedia, doctor-patient confidentiality is a legal concept. It is related to medical confidentiality that protects communication between a patient and their doctor from being used against them in court, okay? The reason for this rule is so that there is a level of trust between a doctor and their patient so that the doctor can properly treat the patient. You know, I see these videos online all the time where you've got like a nurse coming on and saying, listen, if you come to the hospital and you're on this, and this, we do not care. You need to tell us the truth so we can help you. And a patient has to feel comfortable telling the medical staff the truth so they can help them, right? If the patient was afraid to tell the truth to their doctor because they believed that the doctor would report it or that they would get in trouble, then the treatment process could really be delayed and made more difficult, or even the doctor could be treating the patient for the wrong thing because the patient is lying to the doctor. Another example. An underage patient comes to their doctor wanting to be treated for an STD. The doctor is usually required to get a list of the patient's partners to inform them that they need to get treated as well. But the patient does not want to name their partner because they're afraid that they'll get in trouble. In some jurisdictions, the doctor cannot be forced to reveal the information of their patient, and it can even go as far as the doctor not being allowed to testify to that information in court, which I understand to a degree, right? So with all of that now, let's go back to talking about Alexee. For a brief recap, back in 2023, Alexee was 19 years old and she was living in Artesia, New Mexico with her mother and her stepfather. Like I said in my first video, Alexee was living a seemingly normal teenage girl's life. She had a boyfriend. She had been dating him, I believe, for 2 years at that point. She was a senior in high school, and she had a GPA of 3.86. She was heavily involved in her school's cheer team, and she'd never really gotten in any kind of trouble for anything. But then, on January 27th of 2023, Alexee said that she started experiencing lower back pain, hip pain, and abdominal pain, so she ended up going to the hospital. While she was there, the staff discovered that Alexee was pregnant through a urine test. But before they could tell her, Alexee ended up running off to the bathroom. Now, while Alexee was in the bathroom, hospital staff said that they could hear the toilet flushing multiple times and the paper towel dispenser being used a lot. One staff member said that they knocked on the door multiple times, asking Alexee if she was okay, and they said that Alexee never responded. So the staff member said that they were going to go get a spare key, and just when they were about to unlock the door, Alexee came out after spending 18 minutes in there. The staff member said that there was red bodily fluid all over the bathroom, and when he asked Alexee about it, she allegedly told him that she was on her menstrual.
Did you look into the restroom?
I did.
Yeah. What did you see?
Went into the restroom and I saw a large amount of blood.
Where
and
at?
It was on the floor. It appeared to, like she had tried to wipe it up in places. Mm-hmm. It was kind of on the back wall behind the commode, the toilet. And so I said, you okay? What happened? And she said, I'm on my period, she said. And she walked out.
This is when the staff called for housekeeping to come and clean up the bathroom. Now, when the housekeeper arrived, she immediately went in and she said it was like a horror scene. I mean, there was red stuff everywhere and something that she had never seen like that before. And so she immediately started cleaning the bathroom. The last thing she needed to do was empty the trash can, except for when she picked up the trash can, she felt that it was very heavy, way heavier than it should have been, even with just trash in it. This is when she pulled the liner out and saw that underneath the liner, there was another liner, and in it was a deceased newborn. The housekeeper immediately notified the hospital staff, who rushed in and got the boy out of the bag. Unfortunately, though, it was too late. Hospital staff then called the police. After interviewing the hospital staff, this is when the officers went into Alexee's room to interview her. Alexee's mother was in the room as well, and one of the doctors gave the news of what they had found, and this was Alexee and her mother's response.
I'm sorry, there's no. We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. He came out at me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But it
I just asked you to tell me the truth.
scared. It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here.
I
Stop.
just-
Stop. Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her out there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I obviously need your permission to transfer her for medicals. She needs to
She's
be
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's
No,
still
no,
19
you're
years old.
right. You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19.
Keep out of me.
You need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor and delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna work on that. In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But we need to do this correctly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are going to be.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here, do you guys have any questions for me?
Like how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months?
Nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
Any other questions? Okay.
Now, after this, Alexee ended up being airlifted to a different hospital to make sure that she was taken care of. And in the meanwhile, the baby's body, who had since been named Alex, was taken by the medical examiner for autopsy. The medical examiner ended up ruling Alex's passing as a homicide by asphyxiation. The report said that there was evidence that Alex was breathing outside of the womb and that there was hemorrhaging, which indicated suffocating. Alexee wasn't arrested until May 10th, and she ended up being charged with willful and deliberate first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Alexee was released on May 16th on a $100,000 bond just in time for her high school graduation, but the school administrator actually asked her not to come. She did, however, get to attend her senior prom. Now, while she was out on release, Alexee even started attending college. There was a bit of like an uproar on campus over that, and a petition was started asking that she be banned from campus. Alexee's lawyer from the very beginning has said that Alexee did not know that she was pregnant and that she didn't know anything like that until she gave birth in the bathroom at the hospital. But if you remember in my first video, you guys, there were all these pictures coming out that showed Alexee seemingly looked pregnant. And listen, I know that cryptic pregnancies are a thing. Okay, I've seen a lot of people talk about it, but this situation, in my unprofessional opinion, was so different. I mean, look at her cheerleading here. The fact that the whole entire school wasn't like, excuse me, Alexee, are you, is so bizarre to me. I just cannot comprehend. I understand cryptic pregnancies where the person's like barely even showing, but now, that's pretty much everything that we knew at the time and whenever I put my first video out. So let's get into these new updates. Since all of that, Alexee and her lawyer have filed a lawsuit against the hospital for wrongful death on behalf of Alex's estate, seeking damages from the hospital. So now they're saying, no, the hospital, you need to pay us because it's your fault that this happened. According to a copy of the civil complaint, Alexee told the hospital staff that she was not pregnant and that she was actually on her period when she first arrived at the hospital. So the doctor ordered medication to treat her symptoms of her pain, like morphine. Alexee's complaint, however, alleges that the medication that they gave her had a warning on it regarding the use of a patient if they were pregnant, meaning they should have never even given her this medication if she was actually pregnant. Documents show that Alexee's positive pregnancy test came back at 12:51 a.m., but according to the lawsuit, hospital staff continued to administer the same medication, and on top of that, they left Alexee unattended in the bathroom. Alexee's lawyer specifically argued, you never allow a woman to do that, to go to the bathroom unattended. He said, according to their experts, the baby did not have a chance of survival, and the morphine and the negligence of the hospital was the direct and true cause of his passing. Now, when asked about how they could justify Alex being put into a trash can, Alexee's lawyer said, well, what else was she supposed to do? How are you supposed to think when you're on all of this medication? Normally, when we put people on this kind of medication, we do not allow them to do anything unassisted. And I actually have to agree with him there because it is shocking that she's 19 years old and she was put on a medication that strong, I'm assuming through an IV, which is going to make it even stronger. And she was able to just get up and go to the bathroom, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that part is a little strange, but it also kind of explains maybe how she was able to get through the childbirth. I don't know, you guys. I mean, I just don't see morphine touching it. Y'all tell me. I know some of y'all out there had babies naturally, but oh my gosh, I was like, give me that epidural right this second. Like, hello. But nevertheless, I understand what this lawyer is saying about that. It is an argument to be had. Then Alexee's lawyer addressed the pictures and videos of her seemingly looking pregnant that have come out that we've all talked about. And he referenced national statistics saying 1 out of every 2,500 women do not know that they are pregnant until they actually give birth. However, again, in my opinion, that is 1 out of 2,500 women that don't look pregnant. Or maybe a woman already has some extra, weight on her. And so it's not a big deal. Alexee looked completely different, in my unprofessional opinion, from before versus during, and then even after. Did y'all see the picture where she went to the dance after all this happened? I mean, that's a big difference. Now, at the time, which was back in 2024, Alexee's trial was set to start in October. However, it has now been postponed because of the New Mexico 5th Judicial Court have ruled that all comments, y'all, this is huge, all comments made by Alexee while in her hospital bed, along with the surveillance video showing her inside the hospital and any body camera footage captured by the police, will not be admissible in court as it is protected under the doctor-patient confidentiality. Oh yeah. So all of that body cam footage of the police officer standing in there and she's saying that it wasn't breathing, and her mom saying, Alexee, I told you about this and I asked you, and her do all of it, her going to the bathroom, everything that we've seen as far as her being in the hospital, including the body cam footage on the police's chest, none of it will go into court. And that is a huge win for the defense. And according to the prosecution, this ruling has effectively destroyed their case against Alexee. Now, the prosecution has since filed an amicus brief with the Supreme Court, arguing that conversations Alexee had in her hospital room with her mother and medical staff while in the presence of law enforcement should be admissible in court. Alexee's lawyer also successfully argued in front of the district court that Alexee had not been read her Miranda rights prior to having these conversations. They also successfully argued that Alexee's rights were violated when members of law enforcement wearing body cameras entered a room where she was receiving medical treatment. But then the prosecution argued in their amicus brief that Alexee completely waived any privilege when she made those statements in front of her mother and law enforcement agents. They also argued that Alexee was not under arrest or restraint when she made her admissions, and that the exchange between Alexee and the doctor did not rise to the level of police interrogation. So then on September 4th of this year, 2025, just a few weeks ago, both the defense and the prosecution argued their points in front of the New Mexico Supreme Court. The state argued first.
The reason why the state believes there's no interrogation here, Your Honor, is when you look at the video, just so we're all starting from a baseline, the police do not ask her any questions at all. The police do at one point ask the mother, did she have a driver's license? They hand that over. Of course, they're going to run everyone for warrants, like showing up at a car accident scene. But as I cited in the briefs, we all are familiar with cases that say asking for a driver's license, and that's procedural. That doesn't count as interrogation. So then the question would be, did the police say anything that would be, as Ines says, reasonably likely to elicit?
It was not saying it can be actions as well. And that's what I want to focus on, is actions. Because I get that the police didn't say anything, they didn't ask questions. But here my concern is that if we only review the video, and that's out of context to what the police have been told prior to going into the room. There's been a report. They've heard from the nurse, probably things maybe the nurse shouldn't have told them. And then they're invited to go in. And so there's action as a result of that that's different than like they just pop their head in, or if the report had just been made without healthcare folks tying the report to this young lady. That might be different if they were just going room to room saying we'd like everybody's name and information. But here they had this body of knowledge before they walk in the room, and that's what troubles me in this case.
Then the defense argued.
It's the ramifications of this case that are extraordinary. For Ms. Trevizo, and for every vulnerable patient in New Mexico, and for the state's commitment to safe, confidential reproductive health care. And even more importantly, to maintaining the line that separates medical care from police investigations. Physicians and medical personnel take on the role of caregiver. Police take on the role of investigator. If we accept the state's position in this case, that line completely disappears. And it's to the detriment of New Mexico patients at their most vulnerable moment. Police are in the emergency department every single day. This is something real live doctors have to navigate every single day. And the people who are there are inherently at their most vulnerable moment. There are guidelines here. The state's position is essentially there is no limit.
Then the state got to argue one more time.
If you give the defendant the benefit of the doubt that she did not know she was pregnant immediately upon giving birth, the natural thing you would think anybody would do is, help, help, I just had a baby, help, help, I need help. She did not tell anybody for 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes later that the cleaning lady found the baby, and obviously another 5-10 minutes till the police showed up. I think one can make a good argument that she did not even from the beginning avail herself of the physician-patient privilege.
Now, the Supreme Court did not make an immediate decision. What do you think? Did Alexee not really know that she was pregnant? I mean, remember, she told the hospital staff when she first got to the hospital that she was on her period. And she also told them that after delivering the baby in the bathroom, according to a staff member that was about to unlock the bathroom door.
And so I said, you okay? What happened? And she said, I'm on my period, she said. And she walked out.
Do you think all of the statements that she made and the surveillance footage should be completely covered by this doctor-patient confidentiality? And do you think a jury would be able to convict her without any of that footage? Listen, in my unprofessional opinion, the waters are getting very muddied here, because what does this mean? Does this mean you can just go into a hospital and do this type of thing because you're protected there? But at the same time, there were seemingly some mistakes that were made as far as maybe giving her that medication and letting her walk to the bathroom on her own. That does seem strange to me. Usually when you're given that strong of a pain medication, you're not allowed to walk to the bathroom on your own. I just don't, I don't know, you guys. What I do know is that I believe that Alexee knew she was pregnant. I think that there's no doubt in my mind. I think she was disassociating from it and figured she'd figure it out at some point, but the baby came. Because she dealt with that back pain for a long time until she finally ended up at the hospital. And allegedly, this is alleged, it was rumored or believed that she used her teeth to rip up the second part that comes out after giving birth, if you know what I mean, into pieces small enough to flush it down the toilet. I mean, this was a big deal, or a big way somebody was trying to hide this, in my opinion. Alexee was trying to hide it. And the fact that the baby passed from asphyxiation, not from a morphine OD, I don't know, you guys. This is rough, but if the videos get thrown completely out, that is a big, big deal. And what does that mean in the future about if you're in the hospital? But at the same time, you need to feel protected, right? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a great week. Love y'all. Bye.